The palisade is not original, but it marks the spot at which the Roman Empire ended and barbarians were to the north. So I'm on the southern side within the civilized Roman Empire, and here at Walldürn we've got this trail here, limes, which that means border in Latin, and you can follow it, and there's all sorts of things here, fortresses, the Roman forts and all the rest of it. And one thing I ought to point out, you might be thinking that doesn't look much like a border, but for example, if you think of things like Hadrian's Wall, which is close to where I come from, and I don't really think that that was so much as a defensive position, but rather than that of marking a border to send a message to the tribes to the north that look what we've got here, and just imagine what the defences are going to be like further back, so don't start causing any trouble. In this case, I think it was just it's a clean marker. The tribes would have respected that was the Roman world to the south, and it also marked a point, for example, at which customs duties and things of that nature, tolls, could be collected, because effectively this wasn't a closed society. It was an open border. There was trade. The Romans traded with people even as far away as China, obviously indirectly, but there were products which the Roman world had from, for example, China and India, which incidentally had civilizations which were far greater. And if we look in today's terms, I know perhaps the use of the word GDP is incorrect, but I'm going to use it. The GDP of ancient India and ancient China was much greater than that of ancient Rome. So that's one of the many highlights that we have here in Walldürn. This is the Lindy Watchtower, which is one of those on the border between the Roman Empire and Germanic lands, and this was in use from approximately 160 to 260 CE. Around 160 CE the border was moved forward, so it reached this point here more or less, and that's sort of linked towns today such as Miltenberg down to Osterburken and then to Jagdhausen. Now, here a palisade and stone watchtower line was placed. The watchtowers around 400 metres apart, and around 200 CE a ditch and a wall were built behind the palisade, and that's all that's left of it today in the forest. But thanks to the local authorities, we've got this bike path here, and if we go down there, we can see where the palisade has also been rebuilt next to what appears to be a new wall. This is the Lindy Nord Watchtower, so this would have been about 8 to 10 metres high. It would have had 3 floors. At the ground level that would have been a storehouse, so the entrance to the tower would have been via a ladder to the first floor. Presumably in times of danger the ladder could have been pulled in and the watchtower defended. Of course it wouldn't be able to hold out for very long, but it might be able to hang out for enough time for help to arrive. At the same where the entrance was, would have had a common room for the tower's garrison, and the upper floor was obviously the platform for the sentries, with a wooden gallery from which the border could be watched. Since no roof tiles have been found, it's likely that the roofs were either thatched or covered with wooden shingles. The tower stood 18 metres behind the palisade of the border, the limes or limes, and during the second building phase a wall and a ditch were constructed in the space between. The towers stood within range of each other at around 400 metres, and the garrison was detached from the nearest forts. Storage cells and baking ovens found other sites indicate a long-lasting deployment. Now, I can't see today the other watchtowers because the forest has reclaimed the area. But the border would have been over there, so that would have been, the palisade would have been down there somewhere. 18 metres. So, roughly where the path is, let's say. Roughly. Maybe slightly to the right of the path. It's a watch post called Großer Wald, discovered in the 19th century, and the area around it is symbolic. Nothing here was actually found. However, I found something whilst parking my bicycle. I disturbed a hornet's nest and I got stung. So, first time being stung by a hornet. Hurt a bit at the time. Well, hurt at the time 2-3 minutes ago. Let's hope it won't hurt later. This is called the Steiners House. There we've got the watchtower. Next to the watchtower, a ditch, which should have been from 1.8 to 2 meters wide. But next to it, we've got a stone building. And beyond that, we've got the palisade, which should have been about 3.5-4 meters high, something like that. It's about 3.5 meters high there, present. And curious thing about this, obviously this is a reconstruction, but you can see on this side is that it's sort of got the tree trunk appearance, but as we come round you will notice that it has a smooth appearance. Now the point of that could have been to make people coming up from the other side think that it was a stone wall. Of course they would have realised by the time they got up to it that it was in fact made of wood. Well, admittedly, it's, as you sort of go back a bit, it could be stone maybe. You can imagine the amount of work doing all that. Right, I'm happy to say that the hornet sting I got around 15 minutes ago is not currently hurting. But here's the update on it. There you go. Yeah, it doesn't look like anything really. Maybe it'll be alright. As I'm going to see friends right now, and I'm cycling there, and I'm going to have to cycle back. I hope I'm going to be alright. So to follow the border wall, one needs to go up there. Presumably it must come around again and be over there. But I can't get through. And in any case, I am going in this direction. That's a quick look at the Roman border here in Germany, and in particular in Odenwald.